Growth Strategies: How to Make an Effective Brand. Moderated by Ivelina, Atanasova, Genchev, Business Clinic.
My name is Ivelina, and I'm working as an interim chief marketing officer the last 20 years. In these 20 years, I have worked on thousands of projects, I believe, and each and every one starts with the same question: how much does it cost? How long does it take? How are you sure that you will deliver the efficiency, you'll grow my business? And it's not just about the strategy, because it's so easy to say everything is a strategy, a good strategy. For me, the marketing strategy and the business strategy that follows to business growth is like a magic. It's a mixture of so many marketing tools like affiliate marketing, PPC advertisement, social media communication, PR, content marketing, of course, and we'll talk about all of this stuff. How to balance them, how to use them properly, how to make the magic happen. So let me introduce our panelists today. Milena Petrovska is owner of a content marketing agency, Content365.me. She's an iGaming expert experiencing content writing for affiliate enterprises and online casino. Next to me is Salah Mimouni. He's a CEO of Richmedia agency, certified expert in digital marketing, Google and Facebook ads, engineering, computer science. And there is also Uros. He is a young and ambitious economics and marketing specialist who has made his way in digital marketing by following the niche development and the trend wave that's waving every second. On his business cards, you can read the title of Audience Development Manager. So let's start with the essence. I know that all the people leave the best for the at the end, but let's show these people why they have to listen to us the next 22 minutes. If you have to summarize your experience, if you have to summarize your advice in just 3 highlights, how to make a brand successful, how to make a business grow, which will be these?
First of all, hello everybody. Well, for this question, you're asking about 3 things that would be maybe the most important in building a brand growth strategy. I would say on the first place, you should have a vision where you want your brand to go, what message your brand is going to give to the users, to the visitors, to the partners. That would be the vision part. I mean, you have to have a vision, but not such a long-term vision, because in this industry, things are changing very fast. So if you have a vision for like 5 years, I think you can really miss, because as you said, it takes you like maybe 6 months or 1 year to make a whole project from beginning to the end. So maybe like a 2-year vision would be more than enough. The second thing would be consistency in sending the message. When I say message, I mean what does your brand represent? Are you trying to send a message that we should all be eco-friendly, or are you trying to send a message that we should take more care of health? So you should be consistent in the path. As I earlier said, things really change, so the vision can change as well, but you have to stay consistent in whatever you do. And the third part would be connecting with the users, connecting with the shoppers. If we're talking about e-commerce, making a relationship between your brand and the users. I think that's the most important thing when we're talking about the brand, because if you sell something, it could be clothing, it could be, let's say, food. The brand, you're selling the brand, so that's like a different connection, different feel to the product.
And Salah, what will be your advice?
Yeah, one of the most important things when it comes to branding, I think, is the brand personality. what is the personality that will take into, you know, this into the digital, into the media. Because when you have two competitors, I think they don't have the same personality, they don't have the same languages. And also, we have to answer these questions. I think Uros talked about the brand content and the vision, and I totally agree. And moreover, we have these questions that we should absolutely ask. Why should I follow your content or follow your page? I think there is four reason. One of the most important is the brand utility. And here we are going to ask this question: why I should follow, or what is the added value that you're giving me once I follow your content on Facebook or on Instagram or on LinkedIn or whatever. The second point is the brand entertainment. Are you giving to this community, to this audience, the real arguments and to play with them, to make touch with them, to get in touch, etc. So yeah, I think the brand entertainment is important. And also one other reason that let people, you know, follow your content is the real-time marketing. When you follow what's happening, when you follow the buzz, I think this kind of thing can, you know, increase the interactions and the engagement on the page. And the last element is the product communication. So when it comes to product communication, this is what you offer to the public. So I think all of these reasons gathered makes that your content could be really followed on social media. There is another element, which is the planning or the editorial planning. Today, the brand should absolutely have this editorial planning when they should have this schedule on what are they going to post on their pages each day. And you should have a mixture of many kind of content. We're talking about stories, talking about posts, carousels, videos, and also in the gaming industry, one of the most important kind of content is the videos. And this our last case study that we shared like 1 week ago shows that the conversion, when it comes to conversion, the conversion rate is much higher, at 37% much higher when it comes to the video content. And I think that's one of the best media that we should absolutely use. The last element, Ivelina, is when it comes to influencers. Today, we should know that influencers is a full part media, and when it comes to the process, we can see clearly that the influencers have one of the best conversion rates on the market. So all of these elements gathered makes a good strategy for a brand to be, you know, famous and to have this conversion rate increasing on the social media.
Before to give the word to Milena, I would only add the brand archetyping, because I'm a great fan of it, and talking about the elements and talking about how to make this mixture sustainable. It's always good to think about what archetype is your business, what's the sustainable message you want to deliver. And Milena is the person with the messages and with the content marketing, so could you please share with us how to manage better the content marketing strategy and all the messages that we're delivering as a company to the audience?
Hi. Okay, so yeah, first I want to agree with Uros and with Salah. Everything they said was spot on. And I would also like to point out that especially in the iGaming industry, how you sell your brand and how you reach the audience is an issue, especially in markets where regulations won't let you do it. So this is when your content strategy enters the picture, because you need good SEO strategy, content strategy, so you can generate traffic without, breaking any rules, which can not only harm your brand but also the entire industry. So that's something you want to consider if you're an iGaming brand, and I can talk only about that because that's my scope of interest and expertise. Other than that, I think they pretty much nicely covered all the points, so if you have any other questions you'd like to discuss, I would just...
So when it comes to content and when it comes to strategy, there is always this question about planning. And I'm coming back to the Uros idea about planning and vision and corporate culture and all of this. But I'm thinking about this, so it's really a question. Does the planning exist as the way we've taught at school, let's say 10 years ago? Because to me, COVID changed everything, and now it's really hard. So from experience, really to plan how to develop your business in 5 years, in 10 years. So what's the aim of the planning today, and whether we're talking more about planning, even content planning and messages delivering, or it's more important to be flexible, more important to be adaptive and really to follow the trend, even to create a trend in order to have this sustainability in business growth. What's your opinion about this? Yeah.
Well, I personally think that planning is important. I would agree that to some extent you cannot plan everything, especially with the situation now, and iGaming is entertainment for people, so when they cut back on costs, they cut on entertainment. But when it comes to content planning, you must have an idea like what content you want to have, what you want to achieve with it. So it is necessary, but also it's equally important to be flexible and adapt to changes. Like, I don't know, there were sites targeting the Finland market, and then regulations made that entirely impossible. So if you're not adaptable, you will go out of business. So find what works for you. Make a plan, but be prepared to fail at some aspects and then find a way to deal with them.
So it's more like following the line than creating a framework, let's say, if we have to visualize this. Uros, do you want to add something? Or it's okay? Okay. Then let me ask you about the people. So when talking about company, when talking about corporate culture, you know, people are everything. So how do you advise your clients to acquire the talents? Because you know that's the key to the success. What can you share about this?
Yeah, so when it comes to people, let's first talk about audiences. As you know, yeah, the most important thing on the buyer persona is to define it. What is my buyer persona? What is exactly my target? When it comes to CSP, what we call in French la catégorie socio-professionnelle, or in English, professional social categories. I don't know if it is the right translation, but when it comes to this, you need to know that we have a funnel. The top of the funnel, where you will find up A+ and A categories. The the middle of the funnel, where you find B+ and B categories, and the bottom of the funnel, where we will find the C+ and the C categories. So for good audiences, I think today Facebook ads gave us more and more tools on Meta, on the business managers, when you can really get the good targeting. We need absolutely to think about retargeting campaigns, lookalike campaigns. This is what we will help to increase the conversion rates and to decrease on the same time the price of the conversions. Because here we talk about CPA, we talk about CPC, but what exactly should we do to get all these KPIs more and more, you know, relevant? So I think the most important thing on the funnel is to follow this audience and try to make many ad sets and try to make on the same time what we call a split testing or A/B testing, where we should absolutely test between many audiences to get the right audience and to target this audience with the good content. The last thing is that we could also, you know, add this split testing on the ad creatives. So our creative should absolutely be splitted on many audiences, and on the same time to test which one is really resilient and which one is really working more. Because sometimes we have to admit that we might like a content, but our clients doesn't automatically like it. So the good content is not automatically what we prefer, but what our audience prefer. When it comes to talent, Ivelina, you talked about how difficult it is. So today this is a real challenge for all over the world, for all the agencies. I can admit today that I cannot find good brand content manager. I cannot find good traffic manager. So what I do is that I include people from school, you know, like new graduate people, and we include them in a training sessions and challenging them with trainings, with all this kind of certification, and that would help them to be a part of our agencies. Because the real challenge today, how to find the good profiles. We're rare on the place, and there is no much experience. The digital market, we're talking about 10 years old or 15 years old, so we don't have good traffic managers, we don't have enough brand content managers, we don't have enough community managers, so I think it's a real challenge.
So it's interesting to know that at some point the data provides us all the information, so we can get creme de la creme, talking about talents, not only about employers but also about potential clients. But at the same time, it's something that we have to consider, that people are people, so they are not statistics, they are not figures, and we cannot be sure. So we're coming back to the planning. So we are planning, but still we have to be flexible in order to make it working. Let's talk about the expansion. When talking about new markets, when talking about people, when talking about data that we have provided, what do you advise your clients? How do you develop your business even? Do you prefer to expand the products, or you prefer to expand the markets? So how do you navigate this in the new economy that we are facing?
Well, if we're talking about expansion, first of all, we're talking about new marketplaces. Okay, you do have your products that you're already trying to sell. If we're talking about iGames, you have your games that you're trying to bring players to play. But on different markets, different rules occur. So it's either you adapt to the rules, or make something new, make an innovation, so you can maybe, hopefully, change the rules. So if you expand, it's either adapt or invent. That's like the strategy that we were implementing on some new partners that we had on their business plan. And actually, let me tell you that the innovation went better than the adoption part. They made some new campaigns, new type of messages they were sending. They were using some new tools for feedback, because feedback is very important. If you're trying to give something new to a market, feedback is very important, because you know how you have to know how the audience reacted to what you're trying to implement. So you can get feedback either by case studies, like Salah mentioned. You make a case study, so you get the feedback from the audience, but still you have some tools that allow you to see the reaction of the audience on your creatives, on your campaigns. So I think you should use both ways. You should use probably you should use direct messaging as well, because in that case you can personalize the message, you can segregate your audience, and send the perfect message and get the perfect response by one message. Like, it's direct contact, so the direct communication between you and the audience can give you a lot more insight. Of course, you do mass sending, because everybody's trying to get more and more audience and more and more public to reach out to their brand. But still, the statistics, analytics can be divided to one person. I think everybody's striving today to make marketing for especially like a simple message, one personal message to one person. I think that's like the biggest striving point of all marketeers.
That's in one ideal world, I believe, if we can target everybody personally. As you use the word innovation a few times, and I'm like a great fan of the innovations, I want to hear your opinion about this. So we all know that innovation is the key. So the more innovative we are, probably the better our business will be. But at the same point, some of the most innovative consider companies like Apple and Facebook and Google, they're not investing in developing innovation. So if anything is innovative and fits into their plans, so they're buying companies but not investing time, money and resources, internal resources to develop internally innovation. So I want to hear your opinion about this. Is it really important to be innovative or more to be open-minded and following the trends, as I said, creating the trends? So how to adapt it, how to support your business grow when it comes to innovation, to be or not to be? Yeah, Milena, please.
Well, I'm always pro-innovation. I wouldn't agree maybe 100% that big companies aren't innovative. They sometimes just, go and buy smaller companies and get their innovative products. So innovation to me is everything, is progress is moving forward, especially in the iGaming industry. And I also believe that innovation also brings product recognition, which leads to brand recognition. For example, at the time you had 3D slots and BetSoft, everyone knew them about that, and Evolution and Live Dealer games. So those are really innovative products that not only shape the industry, but also they shape the story of the company, of your company or anyone's. So I think that innovation is really important. Whether everyone can do it and should do it, if you have the talent, yeah, go for it. Try to create trends. That's how people will know you and recognize you. Even if it's just for one product, you should always try and leave your mark in an industry, regardless if it's iGaming or anything else.
Thank you. We have 3 minutes exact. So I will dedicate my last question to the metaverse, the new cool guy. So what do you think about it? So some of the companies like Facebook, of course, which changed their name to Meta, and Microsoft predict that the metaverse will someday replace the internet, while other experts argue that it's a marketing trick and it's something that will not survive. So Microsoft believes that it's a great opportunity to reorganize the team management and make everything virtual, while video game developers such Epic Games hope to create unique worlds beyond what's possible in the real world. So how do you consider metaverse? Is it an opportunity? Is it a threat? Do you advise people to use it or to stay away?
Well, today I think it's a reality because we see the application of the metaverse on this on many fields. Let's talk about education first. After the pandemic, we see that more and more people are interested in metaverse to get online courses. Also on the medical field, we saw how important is it to get onto the metaverse and to establish this relationship between the medicines and the patient. And I think that there is something that really proved itself. On other fields, when it comes to gaming, statistically, we saw that many people are searching for gaming and online applications and online experiences. So I think that the technology will follow. This is something that we should absolutely take into consideration. So we're not talking anymore about if metaverse is working or not. Metaverse is working. Metaverse is real. Metaverse is doing good in some fields. Now the idea or the challenge is how to apply this on many other fields. This is my opinion. I don't know what you think, Uros.
Well, my opinion is similar to yours. I think when Facebook even started to begin, nobody was believing in Facebook. Nobody was taking even a look of Facebook. But look what's happening now. I think the same thing is going to happen with metaverse.
A lot of people believe that Facebook is internet, actually.
yeah, exactly. So I think the metaverse is going to be the next big thing, and we should definitely consider taking a huge look on metaverse and taking the advantages of maybe being the first ones who are actually doing business over there.
And Milena, do you want to add something?
Yeah, like they said, maybe even if the metaverse doesn't exist as they marketed it will, it is here, and I also read some reports on the metaverse existing in games like Minecraft and I don't know, Fortnite, stuff like that. So people will always be interested in the virtual world, and I'm not sure if it will completely replace the internet, but it will definitely reshape it and everything we know about it.
So metaverse is here to stay. We have to consider this. We have to accept it. And it's good to implement it in our growth strategies, as far as I understand. It's good to follow the line, not stick to the frameworks. And it's always good to have a vision, but stay flexible in the new economy and times that we live in. Thank you very much. That was the end of our panel.